The 6 hours of the Circuit of Americas.
I just finished, and again,
it was an amazing race.
Yuma 84 on that exit. There behind. Too strong in heaven, so I'm too strong in head. The
car that was spun stopped in the middle, straight in front of me, so I just tried to turn. But still not easy, still quite hard to do, quite high. Just busy back on the sport.
The last lap, check the flag will be out. But the GT battle is the one we'll need to see after this car goes through. This is the GTR battle between the 90.
To know the race winner, stay tuned.
After the long summer break, the FIA World Endurance Championship is back. It's round 4 and the 6 hours of the Circuit of the Americas coming to you all the way from Austin, Texas. One of our drivers, Mark Webber, was straight back into it as he helped promote the sport with a series of publicity appointments, including meeting the mayor at the City Hall and a rare opportunity to take a look around the city.
I think there's lots of nice restaurants. It's very cosmopolitan, nice coffee shops, and it's got a good ambience about it. And yeah, I mean the evenings are just nice. Everyone's pretty chilled out, and so it's good to be here.
And he certainly got a taster as the people of Austin of all ages showed him what they love about their city. The Porsche drivers arranged for their team to go out for dinner, and Neil Yarney gave us his impression not only of the town but also on the American racing ethos as a whole.
Yeah, I've been racing here in Champ Cars, so in 2007 I've experienced that, and I've done quite a few of ALMS races. And in America, they mix it very well with the show, the races, entertainment, parties, and it's just a nice mixture of everything, and it's more like a big festival. And I think that's why every one of us likes to come back here to America.
Hi, I'm Scott Pruitt. Welcome to Austin, and welcome to America.
This is the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. It's the second time the WEC have visited the track. However, this time they not only have the challenges of this spectacular circuit, they'll also be driving into the night. The 3.1-mile track has more than 20 corners and is highly demanding on the drivers, and they certainly all love it.
as the last new generation of race circuits, it's one of the very best.
It's a brilliant circuit. It really challenges the driver, and for a modern track, that's quite a rarity.
It's going up and down, so as a driver you really can enjoy the track.
It's a challenging circuit as well, so all the main boxes are ticked in terms of being a good venue to race.
With the start of the second half of the season, we also have the opportunity to welcome some newcomers and team development within the championship. Lotus will be debuting their new car in LMP1. And we're very pleased to welcome two American teams for this event. Extreme Speed Motorsport will be joining the LMP2 field, and they've just announced they'll be entering two cars at the WEC round in Shanghai.
Just seeing the Audis, the Toyotas and the Porsches moves everything up a level above any sports car championship in the world. And it's the World Endurance Championship for a reason. It's the best cars, the best teams, the best manufacturers in the world.
And in GT, we have Corvette back with us for this one-off race. Ricky Taylor, Jordan Taylor and Tom Milner will be looking to make their mark on the hotly contested category.
Show that we are racing against some great competition here in the US, but again, we're looking forward to putting ourselves against what is the best GT racing in the world.
Now we talk about POP.
BOP of the GTE Pro is balance of performance. The fact is that to make a race car eligible, you have to start from a road car, and regarding some allowance, you make some modification on a road car to make it a race car. So the purpose of BOP is to compensate some weakness of some cars and to permit them to be at the same performance level to have some very challenging cars. So as some example, it is the Endurance Committee which finalized this BOP parameters. There are such as the restrictors for the engine, such as the weight of the car. You have as well some fuel tank capacity, because the target is to get proper performance. Some cars consume a bit more than some other ones, so as we don't want to have some people with a long stint when some other one will have a short stint, the capacity of the fuel tank is different. So the very final target of the BOP is to make the pure basic performance of the GTE car very close one compared to the other ones, and that's really what gives the best possibility for these pro drivers to compete in a very close, challenging races, and by this way enjoy the facts.
Previously in the World Endurance Championship.
The last time we saw the WEC pack in action was all the way back in June at Le Mans. Coming into the fourth round of the 2014 championship, let's recap where the teams and drivers stand. It was the number 2 Audi of Trellier, Fassler and Lotterer who took the victory. This win was vital as it earned them double points and effectively put them back in the game in terms of the championship.
The Circuit of America is one of the circuits I think we should be not so bad, and we expect a more difficult circuit for our car at the end of the year. But yeah, anyway, we have to wait. It's a new season. I mean, for everyone with a new regulation, and nobody knows how the other is going to be. We have simulation, but sometimes it's not exactly what we expect.
The number 8 of Toyota got their 2014 season off to a fine start with wins at both Silverstone and Spa. And their second place in Le Mans means they lead the championship by just 1 point and will of course be looking to extend that here in America.
We know we have good competition in the other two German manufacturers in Porsche and Audi. We're probably expecting Porsche to be slightly faster here than where they were in the first 2 races of the season. It's going to be a good fight between all 3 manufacturers. And who knows who's going to be the fastest, but I'm sure we're going to be in the mix.
And of course 2014 has seen the return of Porsche to sports car racing, and it was a great return with their podium spot at Silverstone. At Le Mans, they had a moment leading the race, but a technical issue stopped that dream. However, it has given them the confidence they need to prove they are certainly in the race as strong contenders and looking to take a win.
I think Porsche can be proud of their return to sports car racing, no question about it. I think, as you say, those podium in Silverstone, Pole, Spa, and then leading Le Mans in such a dramatic fashion. Yeah, so we need to pull those ingredients together and try and get a result when it really counts at the end.
In LMP2, SMP Racing has the advantage going into the 4th round following its finish at Le Mans where its rivals failed. The team has a 25-point lead over fellow Russian entry G-Drive Racing, which won the first 2 rounds of the 2014 championship. The fight in GT went down to the wire at the end of last season, and there's every chance it could happen again. After an emotional victory at Le Mans, Aston Martin's number 95 leads the points. And in Pro, the number 51 Ferrari pairing of Jimmy Bruni and Tony Villander won in Le Mans, and they have the points advantage over their rivals.
At Le Mans, we saw after 18 hours we were 1 second from Aston Martin, so that shows the competition and the level of racing. 6 hours is every lap is flat out. That side we have no margin for error, and we need to keep pushing. And the main target for our 51 is we keep doing our job.
However, Ferrari won't be resting on its laurels, as the number 92 Porsche of Fred Makowiecki and Patrick Pilet will be more determined than ever to close the gap in the standings. And we all know the number 97 Aston Martin pairing of Darren Turner and Stefan Muck will be putting everything to it to make sure they come back with a fighting challenge. It's been a long summer break and everybody is hungry to get back out on track.
And now, the race.
It's been a stormy start to the weekend, but today the sun is shining over Texas for round 4 of the season.
Welcome to America.
Welcome to America indeed. The fans are here to enjoy history in the making as the World Endurance Championship race into the night for the first time. But first, it's time for the fans to meet the drivers and collect autographs.
It's right. The sun is coming out, now it's getting hot again.
And for the drivers' time to switch off from the pressures ahead. The Texan spirit is high and everyone is enjoying the atmosphere. Even Heidfeld and Prost managed to share a joke, proving that endurance racing is all about friendship. The Lone Star Le Mans was a huge festival of endurance with all the best drivers and the best cars. The American fans are very much enjoying the spirit and getting to grips with the race format.
When you look at this year's attendance versus last year's attendance, how it's begun to grow, how we're introducing America to great road racing. Europe and Asia know all about great road racing. In America, they're still learning it, and this is a region that has never known it before. So I think the fact that we see greater crowds here is indicating how they're embracing it and how we can move it forward.
Things are hotting up on the grid and the atmosphere is electric. The fans are here in their thousands, and it's certainly a very busy grid here in Texas, with VIPs aplenty. The drivers and the crowds all enjoying the atmosphere, and it's the best of all the world's manufacturers as Toyota go head-to-head with Porsche and Audi, and of course Corvette making their appearance here at the Texas Raceway. And the American passion strong as ever as they listen to their national anthem sung from the front of the grid. And now the intensity begins for the drivers. Here's our GTE AM pole sitter, the number 75 Porsche, which will be started by Vaxivier. And the Corvette of Taylor and Milner. And Jordan Taylor, very proud to be racing in front of his home fans.
To have the WC come to our country and us represent the U.S. on our home soil is pretty special. Being here with Corvette, Chevrolet, it's an American lineup, so it's special. We'll do our best. We didn't qualify great, but it's a 6-hour race. Starting position is not important, so we'll just try to stay out of trouble and see where we are at the end.
Then we come to the 92 Porsche, who are third quickest in the Pro category. They found the weather conditions challenging so far, so will racing into the night be of benefit to them?
Maybe in the hot condition it's not where we are stronger, but as soon as we start the sun start to going down, probably we will be stronger and we could coming back a little bit better.
And literally just ahead in the qualifying times is the distinctive livery of the Golf Aston Martin. Stefan Mucker is positive about the 6 hours ahead.
We have seen all lap times very close, and we don't know how the drop-off is of the tires of each manufacturer, but I'm expecting to be a 6-hour sprint race. So really looking forward to that. Weather is a bit mixed again. We just have seen some raindrops. So yeah, fingers crossed and have a good race.
And then our pole sitter in the GTE Pro class is the Ferrari of Bruni and Villander, who are leading the championship coming into the weekend after they scored double points for the victory at the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
It will be very hot in the car. It will be tough for the cars, tires, everybody. We'll see. I mean, it's a long race. I hope to enjoy the race, enjoy America, Texas, and have some great battle with the others.
In LMP2, G-Drive are running their brand new Ligier Nissan for the first time this weekend, and they start the race with a class pole. To the second row of the grid then, and the German flag waves for the number 2 Audi, who'll start the race from P4. Andre Lotterer will take the first stint.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting race, a good battling, you know, Toyota, Porsche there, we're in the middle. So I'm really looking forward to the race. I think it's going to be a good show.
The new boy at Toyota Racing is Mike Conway, who today makes his race debut in the Toyota LMP1 number 7, as we see Alex Wirtz at the wheel for the start of the race.
Yeah, no, I feel good. Yeah, no, very welcoming and great bunch of guys and great teammates. And yeah, no, I still feel like I need some more laps to really settle in, but you know, that will come.
Now to the front row of the grid, and Porsche are looking strong as we begin the second part of the season. They start from P2 in the number 14 car.
It's been fantastic so far how the three manufacturers were close, battling throughout the year. So we hope we can fight for today a little bit, and yeah, it looks promising, but you know, it's a tough 6 hours, and it's really hot today.
And finally, to our deserved pole sitter, and Sebastian Buemi is in the number 8 Toyota. Their qualifying performance was outstanding. And although right now, weather conditions could be changing.
The heat will be a bit of a problem. I think the tires, you know, the tire management will be important. And obviously we have some very tough competitors, so that's never really easy. Huh?
Tensions mounting on the grid then, as the drivers prepare to start the first of 6-hour races into the night here in Texas. And currently the weather conditions are changing, and it looks as though it could become a wet race. So here we see the starting grid, and it's Toyota ahead of Porsche on row 1, with Buemi and Dumas starting in those cars. Second row, it's Porsche versus the Audi number 2 car of Andre Lotterer. And onto the third row, it's the next of the Toyota cars with Alex Wirtz and Duval in the second of the Audis. Rebellion make up the LMP1 grid, and G-Drive Racing on pole for the LMP2 ahead of KCMG and Extreme Speed Motorsports, who are here for the first time of the season. SMP Racing line up on row 6 alongside the AF Corsa pole of Jimmy Bruni. Then we see Muka in the Aston Martin and Mako Viecki alongside. Six hours on the clock then, we'll begin to count down to 0 here in Texas, and the lights are about to turn green as the LMP1 cars lead the way, and Gerard Larousse, our Grand Marshal, waves them off for the start of the race and into turn 1 as they come up the steep incline. It's Toyota ahead of Porsche, and Porsche. And already Toyota showing that they've got speed into the start of this race as they pull away, and the number 7 car of Wirtz already getting past the second of the Porsches to make it Toyota, Porsche, Toyota, Porsche. And into turn 3, 4, 5 and 6, one of the most complicated parts of this circuit. If you get the first part of that sector wrong, you really are stuffed. Now have a look here at the GT battle of the Aston Martin just ahead of the Porsche, and the Aston side by side as they almost make contact. But the number 95 car managing to stay ahead for 5th position in the class. Here we see in the GTE Pro category, the number 97 Aston. Again, it's the Aston leading ahead of the number 51 Ferrari, and that gap already quite considerable at just 6 minutes into the race. So into the LMP2 class here, and we can see the battle underway for first place with the number 30 car of Extreme Sports already hunting down the number 47 car ahead of him. On board now, and you can just see the incline and the camber that you've got on this circuit, which really makes it a very interesting track.
7 seconds on Dumas, 8-4 on Alex, Weber behind, Lotterer and Duval behind.
So a 7-second lead already for the Toyota ahead as we join now the battle for, I think, 5th place. That's Lotterer coming up behind Weber on the Porsche there. And you can just see there's barely a cat's whisker between them as now Lotterer comes alongside Weber. Can he get through here? Oh, so close as now they come through traffic. And here we've got the Audis side by side. Coming down the straight and heading towards that left-hand corner as now Lotterer just gets the edge. And again, you can see there's barely anything in it as the Audi switch position for 5th place in the LMP1 category. And still, that battle is not finished. So the number 7 Toyota of Alex Wurz moves up into 2nd place ahead of the Porsche. Here he goes side by side around the outside of that corner there and just gets the edge through the slipstream to confirm that position. On board now with the number 91 car of Nick Tandy as we see the LMP cars coming through behind him in the traffic and just showing how much more speed they've got through the corners and along down the straights to overtake. Back on board with the number 1 Audi then as he's approaching the rear of Mark Webber in the Porsche and again alongside him and through on the inside of that corner. Can he maintain that position as Webber comes alongside on the exit but just runs wide over the curbs and loses just a couple of seconds on that lap time? Well, we've got a spinner here at G-Drive Racing. Now that's Olivier Pla in that car, just losing control into the corner as we join now Stefan Mucker in the GTE Pro category. He's got a 5-second lead ahead of Jimmy Bruni in 2nd place in the 51 Ferrari, who are leading this championship, don't forget, at the moment. And just behind them, the gap fairly similar once again from Mako Viecki in the number 92 Porsche. More action now in the LMP1 class as we see the battle unfold for 3rd, 4th and 5th position. That's the 2 Audis coming up behind the Porsche of Dumas there and just up the inside. Can they get through in that? Audi gets past the Porsche and that puts number 14 car back into 4th position as the Audis really chase down the hunt. No, but now the Porsche once again side by side the Audi and challenging to get that position back. This is an incredible race and look at the speed that those Porsches have got as they now encounter Pedro Lamy in traffic and hopefully get through with a nice clean bit of air in order to continue this battle. This really is close and exciting LMP racing here at the Circuit of the Americas as they come down through the turn once again. More traffic to encounter and the Porsche just ahead. But the Audi alongside once again. Can he get through as we come now into the final turn onto the start-finish straight? It's the number 2 car ahead of 14 and the number 1 Audi alongside the Porsche now as they head down to turn 1. And we just see there on board with the number 20. Look how close they are. Look, almost touching into the back of that car. Incredible control and incredible speed from these manufacturers. And there again we see the Aston Martin of Lamy just staying out of the way. And approval there from Dr. Ulrich and perhaps a little more nerves from the Porsche garage. We can see now the number 14 Porsche just trying to get ahead as they come into the left-hander. And ahead he is, although running wide on the exit of that turn, just over the curbs. He's got to watch track limits, he's got to be careful. But you can see as he gets under control, that's just given the Audi the advantage and given the Audi that 3rd place.
30.7 on Alex, 37 seconds on Lotterer.
Well, here we join the GTE AM battle here, and you can just see the orange Ferrari ahead of the Aston Martin. As the Aston Martin comes into turn 1, just locking up ever so slightly, but still managing to get ahead of Roberti and take 2nd position in the class. Well, here we join the number 8 Toyota as he spins now, coming into the corner. And just unbelievable there from Sebastian Buemi. Very surprised to see that, and he's, remember, leading by almost 30 seconds. He's managed to continue, or has he? As he's looking to have stopped on the circuit there. Has he stalled the car? Well, he's continued, And he's managed to maintain his lead in the LMP1 category, but that will have cost him a lot of valuable time. So the first hour of 6 almost completed as the number 20 Porsche comes into the pits, and that's a driver change. Nice view from onboard there as we see Webber get out, and that's Timo Bernhard who will get in. Seat in first, a driver in next, and of course some help to get strapped in before they leave the pit lane. And here we see our leaders in the GTE AM category into the pits. That's the number 99 Aston behind the number 92 Porsche of Makowiecki. And will that be a driver change? Yes, it will. Makowiecki out, and Pile gets in as we now join the battle on track between the two Porsches. This is the battle for 5th position in the LMP1 category, and it's Yanni versus Bernhard in the 20 and 40 cars, as we see now 20 pulling ahead of number 14. And chasing down 14 is not ready to give up on this battle as they come encountering traffic there. Alongside the number 20 car, can he get through? No, he's going to have to go around the outside there with that Ferrari just in the way as they come now down onto the start-finish straight, just behind, taking advantage of the slipstream and pulling out to the side. And it looks like the number 14 car has made it through into turn 1 to take 5th position from his teammate in the number 20 car. Let's head down to the pits and hear from Romain Dumas.
It was okay at the start, but as soon as we get the traffic, we are not so good on traffic. We are missing some downforce, and it was more difficult for me than the Audi or Toyota around that. So I was losing time there. When it was clear lap, it was quite okay, but yeah, that's a part of the race. Hopefully with more rubber on track, he can help us, he should help us.
Rejoining now on track with 4 hours 45 remaining in this race, the number 51 car of Tony Villander, who just got a 4-second lead ahead of Darren Turner in the Aston Martin racing car number 97. Tony Villander, a very respected GT driver. His teammate is Jimmy Bruni.
It was a bit difficult, very, very hot in the car, and we had a bit of an unbalanced car, but the race is still very long. Aston Martin was a bit faster and coming out of the corner and top speed. We'll see.
We'll see indeed as we rejoin the action out in a replay. That's Krone Racing being collected there by the Aston Martin car, and some damage to the front of the car. The question is, will they need to come into the pits to have that damage repaired? Well, here we join into turn 1. The battle now for 2nd position in the LMP2 category. That's Sharp closing in on Bradley there, the KCMG car and the Extreme Motorsports car.
Currently P1. Pla has pitted and doing a really good job.
It's been good. I mean, home track, obviously our home country for ESM and Patron Tequila. I just walked past the cameras here as Scott made a good move on the 47 and managed to block it for everybody, but luckily you guys showed a replay, but it's going good. I mean, I think we have the pace over the long runs. We were a little disappointed in qualifying to be 3rd, but it's great to be here. It's great to be back in the WEC Championship, and we're definitely excited about our announcement of being in Shanghai in a couple months' time.
Well, 4 hours and 32 minutes remain, and look at that rain. It really is coming down very, very heavily now and making conditions very difficult out on the track. You see the cars are having to slow down, and the teams are preparing for pit stops, and I now assume some tyre changes. Yep, there they go. The Rebellion racing car in, the slicks are off and the wets are on. And Toyota now looking to make their choice.
Everything up to turn 11, so up to turn 10 it's completely dry, and the back straight is wet, but then from turn 12 on everything is dry again. Can we survive on this tire? Question.
Well, I should imagine the answer to that question is no, they can't, as the conditions now continue to just get worse. Number 20 Porsche in. And look at those conditions worsening. That's Mike Conway, the number 7 car, and he's sideways through the S's there. Incredible car control. It's like he's driving on ice. Look at that as we see the replay. Incredible talent there from Conway to control the car, bring it back into a straight line, slow it down and bring it home. But look at this, we've got almost a car park here into the corner there. The Lotus, the Toyota's off, another Toyota though. That's Conway once again, uncontrollable there. He's got no control in this weather whatsoever as he just clips the barrier. And who's this? This is the Porsche number 20 that we just saw into the garage. They're on wets and they've come in and collected the barrier. Well, the Audi there just showing you how much surface water there is as the rooster flies off the back of that car. And we're on board now with Timo Bernhard in the Porsche. Look at this, he's heading towards the parked up cars as he just makes it through into the gravel to slow down. Incredible how he missed those cars. Absolutely amazing. Well, the red flag is out, and I am not surprised, I have to say. Perfect call.
I mean, fortunately, we had the radio, you know, so the engineer was able to tell me that before turn 11, it was raining a bit. The first 2 laps were fine, but then it was intensified, I mean, more and more, and we know that we struggled a little bit in this condition. We know that we lost a lot of points in Silverstone, so we went on the safe side, and looks like it worked out for us.
Well, the sky's still looking pretty gloomy, and the car's parked up on the grid.
Kind of saved it the first time, but none of my doing really. It kind of just did its own thing and managed to stay on track between turns 4 and 5. But then went down the back straight, looked fairly clear. But then as we got over the hill, it was just a sheet of glass. Just couldn't do anything really. Didn't want to hit the car that was spun and stopped in the middle, straight in front of me. So I just tried to turn it and did tag the wall slightly on the inside, which did just damage the front a little bit. But I think suspension's okay, so that's the main thing. But yeah, scary, just completely out of control.
Well, the overall classification then, with 2 hours of the race done and the cars stopped under the red flag, and it's Audi, Toyota and Porsche in the LMP1 category. Extreme Speed Motorsports are heading up the LMP2 class at the moment with the number 30 car. Fine performance for their first race in the WEC. Well, and the Aston Martin at number 97 leads the GTE Pro, and back down 21st position, the Corvette ahead of the number 98 Aston Martin. Here at the Circuit of Americas, the Lone Star Le Mans race has something for everybody, whether it's the on-track action you enjoy or something away from the track. The children will love coming to see all of the amazing animation and enjoy some of the local fun with the cowboys. There's cars on display, and there's even a performance from legendary band Blue Oyster Cult. And as night falls, enjoy using some of the simulators, taking on board the hospitality, as well as enjoying the spectacle of night racing here at the circuit. And there's even fireworks as the night continues. Well, the race resumed at 3 minutes 26 remaining under safety car, and now at 3 minutes 19 remaining, the safety car peels in to the pit lane and allows for the cars to restart, with Treluet in the number 2 Audi leading the way down the start-finish straight. It's still very, very wet. Look at those roosters flying off the back of the cars. They've got to be sensible under this restart in order to avoid any problems. So, into turn 1. Treluet leads, and alongside Christensen, it's the Toyota of Lapierre. Now he needs to unlap himself in order to gain the time back that he lost as the red flag fell. And they've got to be careful in these wet conditions. This circuit is by no means easy to manage in these conditions with the night falling, and look at that visibility, still very, very poor. This isn't a circuit that is lit very well throughout the entire circuit, certainly around the start-finish straight. It is, but as you see now, the Porsche behind, desperately trying to seek a way through as we now join the battle in the GTE class. That is the battle for second position. The 91 Porsche trying to get past the number 51 Ferrari ahead, and it's the Ferrari that just runs wide on the exit of that turn and gives the Porsche the position. So the number 2 Audi in the pits then. Treluet on board that one, and it looks to be fuel only. Back on board with the number 14 Porsche then. They make their way round through the S's, and again this complex is so difficult to get right. Well, there is the number 1 Audi leading this race. That's Christensen just drifting as he comes around that turn there, and showing us still how wet this circuit is. So we're approaching now 3 hours into the race. That's halfway through this race, and still things are so exciting as we see there, side by side, the LMP1 cars battling through for position. As they come down the bend, the 14 car just ahead of the Audi, which means now the 14 Porsche leads the number 1 Audi at halfway point in this 6-hour race at the Circuit of the Americas. GTE Pro classification then, and it's the number 97 Aston Martin that's ahead of the Porsche. That's Turner versus Pilet, And Darren Turner really putting on a fine performance so far in this race. Patrick Pilet chasing him down in the Porsche, which traditionally has not performed so well in the heat here and the Texan circuit, but now he's turning to put on the fight as the temperatures are cooling into the night. The 92 car pulling alongside the Aston Martin. Has he made it through? Yes, he has. Into the turn there. Pilet gets ahead of Turner, and that is the position for first in their category. So 2 hours and 45 minutes remaining of this 6-hour race. And there the battle continues between the Porsche and the Aston Martin. Darren Turner seems to have taken a slightly different line to the traditional racing line there to challenge for that position again. So we join the LMP battle now for 4th position, and that's the pair of Toyotas, Conway versus Lapierre there. And look at that, barely a breath between them as they come side by side down the start, finish straight up into turn 1, the steep incline and the turn into the left, and they continue side by side. An incredible fight between the two Toyotas. And here you see confirmation from the graphics that indeed the number 8 car is ahead of the number 7th car, taking 4th position in class. On board with the number 1 Audi as they make another of their pit stops now. And it's a tyre change. The wets are coming off. Now they were losing around about 4 seconds per lap by staying on the wet so much longer than some of the other cars out there. So they'll be pleased to switch back onto a drier tyre and hopefully improve their lap times from this point. It's a good pit stop. And as they exit now, get to see where they rejoin this race. The number 14 Porsche then, Yanni. He's currently leading this race and he's got a fair lead as it goes on track. So Porsche leading in the LMP1 and in fact leading again in the GTE Pro category as well, as we see the Porsche coming down through the start-finish line and again up into that steep incline of turn 1. So it's Makowiecki ahead of Tandy, and you can see there the gap is starting to close down between the two of them. And it's a replay now as we see the Lotus number 9 car come into the corner and spin, narrowly being avoided there by the Ferrari AF Corsa. Well, they managed to continue. And another replay as we see the number 47 car, the KCMG car in the LMP2 category, just taking another spin. And it's just slightly onto the grass. It's very, very wet here, the grass. And with all the rain we've had over the course of the weekend, you can see they've stopped there, and that looks to be terminal. And also for the Rebellion car, number 13, into the garage. The team rushing around to do some repairs there. See if they can get that one back out and running. So we join the LMP1 battle now, and it's a pair of Audis at the beginning. Audi 1 and 2. That's Yanni and Christensen, who are nearly almost side by side and almost making contact there as the number 1 car comes right up close behind the number 2 car. And you can see now that battle for 2nd position. It is a position change, 2 ahead of 1. And here we see on track a massive moment. That's G-Drive Racing that have just gone over the back of, I believe, the Lotus car there, launched into the air over the curbs. And that looks like they've got some damage at the back of the car there. Well, they have continued, and that is a Canal that's driving that one at the moment. I should imagine that's going to be a pit stop and hopefully some repairs to the car to keep that one going. Well, here we have another position change, 2nd and 3rd in the LMP2 category. That's Extreme Motorsports. They're having a fantastic weekend here in the WEC. And they're, as predicted, G-Drive Racing are in the garage with repairs being done to the rear of the car. Plenty of action still to come here with 1 hour and 26 minutes remaining, and that is our leading car in the GTE Pro category, and in 2nd place the 97 car is also in the pits, so it'll be a race against time to see who can get out of this quickest. And we can see the exit there, and that is the Aston Martin that has been released already, and the Porsche still appears to be in the pits.
The track was still damp when I went out, and it was drying at the end. The line is dry now, but still not easy, still quite hot, the humidity is quite high. And yeah, we try to go more to the front. We try all we can. Let's see what's coming out.
Muka blissfully unaware that the number 91 car is now being pushed into the garage. And a problem there for that car, which is grossly disappointing. They've lost the lead and handed it to their main rivals with the Aston Martin. Well, nothing seems to be happening too quickly. Driver's still in the car, and that's another car in the garage. That's James Collado in the 458 Italia of AF Corsa. And James talking through the problems with one of the mechanics there. So back with the 91 Porsche, problem solved. The car is being released from the garage and they will rejoin the race. But the trouble is they've lost a lot of time in this pit stop and they've handed over the lead, and they're going to struggle to get that back with just 1 hour and 20 minutes remaining. Back on track now, and we join the LMP1 battle for third and fourth. That is a position change there. The Audi number 1 car ahead of now the Toyota number 8. And a pit stop for the car. Davidson getting out and Buemi getting in. 1 hour 13 minutes remain on the race, and that will be Buemi in the car, I should imagine now, until the end. So down in third position as they exit the pit. And just over an hour remaining in this race, and a replay as we see the 8 Motorsport car come around the left-hander and spin just a little bit too much on the throttle there. That is Jeff Segal in the number 90 car, and he appears to have stopped on track. Back on board now with the Audis.
Marcel, that Porsche is for position. That Porsche is for position.
Well, Marcel Fassler being told there that that Porsche ahead of him is for position, and indeed it is. There's around about 1.5 seconds between the two, and this could end up being a sprint finish to the final part of the race, as he's now blocked by G-Drive Racing. He should really have been allowed to get through there, but no, the G-Drive car has decided to block him, and making things just a little bit harder. There is the SMP Racing car, lead in the LMP2 category at this point in the race, and with just 50 minutes remaining. This will be, I imagine, now their final pit stop. So it's a full service for the SMP car. Back with the GTE Pro battle now. That's the battle between the 92 Porsche just ahead of the number 97 Aston. Well, the Porsche certainly seems to be getting far better performance from their tyres as the temperatures have cooled into the evening.
Sure, at the beginning of the race we saw that the Aston was really quick in the dry condition. We could do a difference when it was wet and damp, and we made a gap, but unfortunately now it's already dry and it's difficult for us.
Well, this is the battle now in the LMP1 category for first position. 45 minutes still remain, and the Porsche is ahead of the Audi number 2. Fantastic bit of driving from the Porsche there, and if they can maintain this speed throughout the course of the race, they will be on for a podium finish. Into the pits then, and you can see there by the lights on the car that they have slipped back into second position during this pit stop. So we have a replay here. The number 1 Audi on board then, as we see them closing down onto the Toyota of Buemi just ahead of him, and braking, but just unable to get past at this point. So 26 minutes remain and the battle for second position continues. This is such an exciting race here at the Circuit of the Americas, racing down to the wire, which is why the World Endurance Championship is so popular. And look at that, as Buemi and the Porsche number 14 are side by side as they come around the back marker of one of the LMP2 cars there. And this is another position change. So the number 8 Toyota going ahead of the Porsche, but still a pit stop to be done. This will be a splash and dash for the end of the race. So again, the Porsche number 14 ahead of the Toyota number 8. And here we see as they head down the start and finish straight. Again, are we keeping up with all these battle changes, position changes in the battle?
Marcel, box this lap, use the in-lap button, use the in-lap button.
So the Audi of Marcel Fassler being called into the pits now for a final splash of fuel to get them through the final 13.5 minutes of the race. We see there the cars come in. The Michelin technician taking a look at the tyres. They've double stinted these tyres already, and what they were looking for there is to find out whether or not they can double stint and a bit on these tyres, saving as much time as possible on the pit stop. Well, this is the battle for the GTE AM second and third position. We're looking at the Aston and the Porsche there, chasing around the final few moments of this race to see who it will be that will gain that podium position. And there you see the Aston just ahead of the Proton competition car number 88. Again, the number 98 Aston Martin leading the GTE AM class, as we said, with Pedro Lamy on board. 5 minutes remaining. The question now is whether or not Lamy can continue to push, or whether or not Stanaway will be able to just use this time advantage that he's got lap by lap and close in enough. And if he can do it, it will be pretty much under the checkered flag. Audi looking on then. 4 minutes remain.
Okay, Marcel, this is your last lap. This is your last lap.
Well, I should imagine a very relieved Marcel Fasler there, hearing that this is the last lap. He's certainly driven a fantastic stint here to bring the Audi up into the first position, bringing the car home for victory. Another victory after the Le Mans success they had just a few months ago. And this is so important in their fight for the championship as they come through the final sectors of this twisty and undulating circuit here in Texas. The temperatures have been excruciatingly hot. And of course, the drivers and the tyres have suffered as well as they come around the back of the Corvette. So under the Audi Sport Bridge, and you can see now Audi ready to bring this race home for victory. They struggled in the first part of the race, the rain almost bringing them victory as they made the right decision with tyres. They made the right decision post-rain as well in the restart of the race, and they've just shown that once again their skill in endurance racing is so strong. The drivers and the car setup as well, the team working so well together to bring another victory, so crucial after the success of the Le Mans 24 Hours just a few months ago. And in the final sector of this circuit, Marcel Fasler just needing to cruise it home to see that all-important checkered flag. And here it comes, victory for Audi. Number 2 car winning here in Texas.
Cool, thanks guys. Great job, great car. Thanks.
Cool indeed, as celebrations continue into the garage. Dr. Ulrich looking very happy with the performance of the team, of course. And Fasler getting out and celebrating under the pitch black dark here in CoTA.
It was a really tough race, but I think all the team did a really great job, really great. No mistakes. And a very good strategy, so we can thank all the team, Michelin tires, and of course my mates. It was a good one.
Joy for Audi, but a very despondent looking Sebastian Buemi.
The rain robbed us once again, second race in a row, and yeah, it was a good recovery. Sounds familiar after Le Mans, but yeah, and ended up in the same place as we did in Le Mans. But the good news is, and you always have to look on the bright side, is that we still had the fastest car today.
In the LMP2 category, bringing home for the victory was KCMG in the number 47 Oreca. And while they take the top step on the podium, it's SMP Racing in second, and what a result in third for Extreme Speed Motorsports on their debut in the WEC.
It's my stint is full push, qualify attack. It's a little bit tired.
Well, the GTE Pro win goes to Aston Martin. And a fantastic result for the team it was as Dave Richards looks on in celebration. Darren Turner taking the flag then in the Aston and bringing it home in second place. It was Porsche, and in third, the Ferrari of AF Corsa.
When it went green after the rain had come, the Porsche were very strong at that point. We had to take some risk with the strategy and obviously run the tyres in a double stint, which wasn't ideal, but it was what jumped us on the field at that point. So yeah, really pleased. Stefan did a great job. The boys with their strategy did a great job.
Well, it was a clean sweep this weekend for Aston Martin as they took victory and second place as well in the GT Am category. Lamy taking the win and Paulson bringing it home in second.
I had distance, I tried to control it till the end, and he finished the race quite close. It was quite tough for me to stay in front, but I won. I'm very happy with that.
I'm very happy they should be as Aston Martin take the top 2 steps on the podium, and third goes to Proton Competition. As fireworks fill the sky, it's celebrations for the LMP1 podium, and Audi celebrate their 1-2 victory here at the Circuit of the Americas. Toyota in third place still maintain their Drivers' Championship lead, however, looking slightly despondent up there as the celebrations begin for Audi. Manufacturers' Championship, Audi just ahead of Toyota with 157 points, but the season is far from over. So there we see, just finally, Audi 1-2 here in America with Toyota in third and KCMG leading the LMP2 category. It was an Aston Martin win in the GTE Pro and in the GTE Am.
Our next mission is Japan.
Fuji is our home race.
To beat Audi and Toyota is the target.
Our aim, winning in front of our fans. One mission, winning the 6 Hours of Fuji.
We're ready. What about you?